We're having a good time. Hope you are too. For most Australians, of course, it really is Christmas every day when you consider it. I mean, forget all about the interest hike, if you can, and forget many problems we have in this country. Compared to the plight of people in so many other countries, this really is Christmas every day. One of our Bert Newton Show family has just returned from the Philippines, where not only did he witness injustice, but he was thrown into jail when he attempted to photograph this injustice. Please welcome the Rev John Smith. On a day like today, when we're having a lot of fun, celebrating this early Christmas day, you've just come back from what must have been a harrowing experience. Hit all the press here in Australia. John, I'd like you to tell us exactly what happened.
We were asked by a number of human rights folk with whom we had previous relationship before going to the Philippines if we would go and monitor two situations, one where nearly 700 people were being threatened with extinction from death squad type vigilantes. My wife went to that one. And the other one where a mad local mayor was simply bulldozing down the homes of hundreds of families. And we arrived just at the moment when some of those houses were coming down, and there was just a sea of weeping, crying, hysterical women and children, some of them pulling at our clothes and pleading with us to come and see. So being the kind of Aussie spirit and being committed to human rights, we just grabbed our cameras, Martin and I, and we just raced in and began to take pictures, and the soldiers began to sort of cover their faces and run away, and even the guy driving the big bulldozer jumped off the bulldozer with his mates, and they fled too, as though they were embarrassed to be seen doing what they were doing. But then just at the point when we thought we were winning through on it, this commander came up screaming and yelling and began to wave a handgun on the face of Martin, and then I was confronted by a man wearing Jesus on his T-shirt, and I was overwhelmed with this. I just said, "How dare you wear Jesus on your T-shirt?" He could obviously speak English well. I said, "The Jesus of the Bible is the God of the widow and the fatherless, and you're knocking down their homes." I said, "You know, Jesus said it's better that a millstone's tied around somebody's neck and they be thrown in the depths of the sea than that they offend these little children." Well, at that point, he grabbed his M16 and pointed it straight into my face. So it was fairly frightening, and they took us off to jail.
Mm. The other bloke was another minister?
Well, yes, Martin is a co-pastor with me in our church.
Mm-hmm. John, it was mentioned to me before the show, this is the first time we've seen each other since John flew back in, last night, wasn't it?
Yesterday morning early.
Okay. And I haven't seen you, but someone told me just before the show that the one problem you have is that there are some well-meaning people here in Australia who believe they're doing the right thing with funds for organisations over there, and in reality, it's not the right thing.
Well, it's absolutely frightening, because I came within an inch of being shot by a very strong religious believer who probably would view Jesus in some ways the same as himself. He was a CAFGU agent, which is more or less a killer squad of vigilantes that are given their weapons by the government, but they sort of help mop up. The difficulty is that you've got such a complex thing in that country, and the extreme right and the extreme left are fighting each other, and the masses of Filipino people are caught in the action between. Now, I can't name, obviously, but there are a couple of organisations in this country who are well-meaning, but they feel they're doing the right thing if they do anything to fight communism. The problem is that in that country, to be a communist is simply to be a human rights worker, a local parish priest that's close to the grassroots with the people, to be involved in any way in trying to bring a mid-course or sanity is to end up being labelled. So these organisations are gaining finance in anti-communist organisations, and they are actually pouring the literature into the Philippines. We received it from several very conservative ministers while we were incarcerated in the prison. So we've got the literature ourselves to prove it. It's stuff printed in Australia, sent from this country, purportedly in the interests of bringing freedom to the country. But what happens is, these beautiful people who I've come to know so well, they are labelled as communists by this magazine, and the evidence is that a number of them have been killed within a week or two of their names appearing in these Australian articles that are being poured into the South to the tune of, say, 40,000 a month. And then they're being run off on little local copiers. So the thousands of leaflets are naming people who are human rights workers in the misguided sense that this is helping fight communism.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you now that you're back in trying to fight that. And, of course, we were very concerned here when we got the news. It's good to see you. And it's nice also to talk on a program such as this about a situation that we people in Australia can only imagine, but people like yourself actually see it. Welcome back.
Bless you.
Thanks, John. The Reverend John Smith.